In the headlines, President Buhari signs 2023 appropriation bill into law. Gunmen kill 4 police orderlies in attack on ex-Imo governor Ohakim's convoy. Presidency fires back at Obasanjo, says ex-president jealous of Buhari. And away from Nigeria, Senegalese court jails 2 lawmakers for assaulting pregnant colleague. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Ayuba Ilya. Thanks for joining. And now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the 2023 appropriation bill along with the 2022 supplementary appropriation bill. The president signed the documents in the presidential villa in the presence of Senate President Ahmed Lawan, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, and the other members of Federal Executive Council. Speaking at the event, President Buhari said that the 2023 budget, just signed into law, provides for aggregate expenditures of 21.83 trillion naira, an increase of 1.32 trillion naira over the initial executive proposal. The president said he signed the appropriation bill into law to enable implementation commence without delay. He directed the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Hajia Zainab Ahmed, to liaise with the National Assembly to effect the necessary amendment to the bill. 4 policemen attached to a former governor of Imo State, Ikedi Ohakim, were killed when gunmen attacked the former governor's convoy on Monday. Our correspondent gathered that the incident happened as the former governor was returning from Oregu in Ehime, Mbano, and it was not clear whether he was going to his house at Okohia in Isiala, Mbano, or going to Owerri, the state capital. But an eyewitness said that when the gunmen were unable to get him, they bombed the back-up vehicle conveying the police and set it on fire. This led to the death of 4 of his police orderlies. Ohakim was governor of Imo State between 2007 and 2011. Eyewitness said that the former governor was with 2 of his children when the gunmen struck. Spokesperson of the Imo State Police Command, CSP Mike Abatam, could not be reached for comment. The Nigeria Immigration Service Jigawa Command said it has rescued 6 victims of human trafficking in the state. The NIS controller in the state, Ahmed Bagari, told journalists in Dutse on Monday that the victims were rescued by men of the command on Sunday. Bagari, represented by DCI Muhammad Yako, said that the victims were rescued in an uncompleted building in Babura town, headquarters of Babura local government area of the state. He explained that the victims, aged between 20 and 35, were intercepted while on their way to Libya en route Niger Republic. The controller added that the victims, 5 females and a male, are from Oyo and Nasarawa states. According to him, none of the rescued victims was in possession of any travel document and no incriminating items were found on them during interrogation. He added that the NIS Controller General Idris Jere had directed that the victims be handed over to the National Agency for Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons for further action. Jere also advised parents, guardians, and the general public to desist from sending their children or wards abroad for non-existing greener pastures. Now, as part of steps to curb incidences of killings by policemen in Lagos State, 3/4 of the personnel serving at the Ajah division have been redeployed to other areas across the state. Confirming the development, the Lagos State Commissioner of Police Abiodun Alabi explained that the action is a routine movement and those affected are personnel who have spent over 3 years at the division. He added that those affected are deployed to go and deal with the challenges in other areas and get more experience, particularly as the 2023 election is approaching. The move comes in the wake of reports of alleged extrajudicial killings by officers of the division. Gafaru Brahimo was killed on the 7th of December 2022, and weeks after this, an officer attached to the division allegedly shot Barrister Bolanle Rahim to death. The presidency says former President Olusegun Obasanjo will not stop attacking President Muhammadu Buhari because he is jealous of Buhari's achievements. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, gave 4 reasons for the unjustifiable attacks on Buhari by Obasanjo, saying that the ex-president won't stop being jealous of anyone who beats him to a new record in the nation's development process. According to the presidential aide, Buhari is ahead of the former president in all fields of national development. He said that Buhari's administration had successfully completed the world-class edifice, the second Niger Bridge, after 3 decades of failed promises, saying that the project will soon be inaugurated by the president. Shehu said Obasanjo laid the foundation for the bridge in his first term as elected president and work never started. The presidential aide also maintained that the former president was not comfortable with Buhari's bargaining awards and encomiums for strictly promoting democratic culture and the rule of law in Nigeria and beyond. Shehu further reminded the former president that the totality of African leaders appointed Buhari the anti-corruption champion of the continent. The presidency said that the former president deployed federal machinery to remove governors Joshua Darie, Rashidi Ladoja, Peter Obi, Chris Ngige, and Ayo Fayoche from office, recalling that in Anambra, Abga's governor Obi was equally impeached by members who did not meet the 2/3 required by the Constitution. A former Minister of Transportation and leader of the All Progressives Congress in Rivers State, Honorable Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, has urged his supporters to sensitize and mobilize Rivers residents for victory in 2023 governorship elections. The former minister disclosed this while addressing supporters of APC in Emuoha, local government area of the state. He said that 2023 election will not be business as usual for the PDP, urging members of the APC to ensure massive mobilization across the wards of the state to enthrone good governors. He urged his supporters to ensure that they vote for all the party's candidates to have the change the people desire. He urged party supporters to ensure they collect their permanent voters' cards to be able to exercise their franchise.
Address education, address poverty alleviation, address health challenges, address roads, not just flyovers. I built 5 flyovers. I built the flyover at Aichi. Right? That's the longest. Okay, well, they don't have the longest one. Obliquity. Come on, go see. There are so many. The rest assured, if we win, we will serve you. But most importantly, don't sit here. You are not enough vote for us. Go and get people out of their houses to vote for APC. They should do what? That's what I want. So, if we win, we will not address only flyovers. We will address education, we will address health, we will address poverty, we will address power. Just like we did address the power here.
Anything that we have done, APC has done for you before, we will do more. Our leader approved for Trans-Calabar Road. It was approved.
Still on political matters, the APC gubernatorial candidate of Taraba State, Senator Emmanuel Bwacha, said that the state is currently standing on the precipice of complete breakdown. Senator Bwacha made this known during the inauguration of his campaign council in Jalingo, the Taraba state capital. Gubernatorial candidate said Taraba, which was once a vibrant and prosperous state, has now degenerated to a pitiable level of desolation, deprivation and hopelessness. He said that people have lost their confidence due to poverty and other social ills, adding that a weak and hopeless society cannot accomplish any goals for its people. Now, as Nigeria marks another year and ushers in the much expected and critical general elections in the country, Nigerians are optimistic and hopeful that the election will be an opportunity to elect a credible leader that will reposition the country and set it on the right path. Maridia Umar reports that despite the myriad of social challenges, Nigerians have high expectations.
In 2022, Nigeria faced myriads of problems in the economy, security, education, and other sectors. As the nation heads to the poll this year, the next set of leaders are expected to perform optimally to ensure Nigeria returns to its glory days. Electorates are seeking a free, fair, and credible elections in the coming weeks. And for Zipporah Nwachukwu, a young civil engineer who will be voting for the first time, said this year's election must not be business as usual.
My expectation is, first, we youth, this election is more important to us because most of us have suffered a lot. There are some that are fortunate to graduate and have work, but there are some ones that are not fortunate. So it's as if they are lazy, but they have not been given the opportunity. So all of us should come out, vote the right person. Don't collect money. Don't sell your vote. Do the right thing. Don't follow maybe what Zipporah is telling you to do. You know what you want and you know your expectation, because all of us have prayed, I want the 2022, 2023 to be a good year for us. But it cannot be a good year if we keep doing the same thing.
On their part, for elections to be credible, the electoral umpire has to be ready. As such, we're calling on INEC to do the needful.
What I want to tell INEC is that they should make sure they fulfill their promises and make sure that the vote is count so that there won't be any issue after the election.
What I just want the INEC to do is that they should be fair in handling the election, and there should be no manipulation of result in any other way.
So I wouldn't say I have a preferred candidate. I just hope whoever wins tends to do the needful, and maybe the country should go to greater height. Well, everybody has his or her own responsibility. We, the electorate, we have our own responsibility. The INEC has her own responsibility, which is to make the whole process free, fair, and credible. The security operatives have theirs as well, which is to keep the whole place devoid of violence and a hitch-free process.
Despite the challenges, they're hopeful for a credible polls, calling on stakeholders to act professionally and impartially. Maridia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at why essential worker stays at duty post during holiday. Details of this and more after the break.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Let's have a look at the top stories again. Buhari signs 2023 appropriation bill into law. Gunmen kill 4 police orderlies in attack on ex-Imo governor or Hakim's convoy. In other stories, the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Rivers State Command has arrested 262 suspects allegedly connected to oil theft, illegal oil bunkering, pipeline vandalism, advance free fraud, cultism, and other offenses. The NSCDC State Commandant, Oga Michael, disclosed this to journalists in Port Harcourt while recounting the command's achievements for 2022. The commandant said that between January and December 2022, the command had made several arrests and secured 21 convictions. He said that the command will continue to maintain stronger synergy with all security agencies in the state to forestall any criminal tendencies.
As far as bunkering is concerned, the bunker activities in River State have reduced by no less than 90% since I came here. Before, we used to have black smoke, and what is responsible is the synergy among security agencies are coming together to fight bunkering. We have come together because we now have a joint operation where one agency cannot do other agency support. So far, we have more than 58 arrests. We have about 33 convictions and 22 convicts. About 513 cases have been resolved by our department we call the Peace and Conflict Resolution. Our anti-fraud unit also have been able to recover a lot of money from fraudsters. But we're going to do more to protect national infrastructure like INEC office, where we have been directed to deploy our men. Like in other states, INEC offices have been attacked by criminals, so we are going to put more effort to guide INEC offices to avoid the breakdown of law and order within that area because of the 2023 election.
January is the first month of the year. In Western countries, it is usually considered the second month of winter and the coldest, while in Nigeria, it is the coldest month in the Harmattan and the transitional period to the hottest season. Most people consider January the longest month in a year, particularly because of monetary choices and the number of bills which must be settled as the new year rolls in. In this report, Noel Samson examines the mystery behind January.
January is named after the Roman god Janus, known as the protector of gates and doorways, that symbolizes beginnings and endings. Janus is depicted with 2 faces, one looking into the past, the other with the ability to see into the future. However, the man on the street is not concerned with myths. To him, the mystery attached to January is related to money and how very quickly it runs out in the first month.
Concept first, and then the second is the hunger to celebrate December in a special way. I know that all moments are not the same, all seasons are not the same, but when you have it that in December we must kill ourselves, January eventually must be very, very long.
Me, I be businesswoman. So salary for January, I do no like to sell market. People know to buy our market. So because of no pay, nobody like to spend money. Or December time like this, they don't waste money, do many things.
What is the reason behind the January mystery? Is it a mystery at all or just common sense?
Based on the fact that people do not plan well, because everything boils down to planning. As it stands now, a lot of people have traveled and have done a lot of expenses, and when they come back, they are going to face school fees for their children. Some have their house rent to be due, more so utility bills.
So everything you have, you spent them all in December. and just maybe if you're a Christian, 25th and then 31st. Just that 2 days. Everything you have gathered for the whole year, you spent it. And then January salary will not come on time. The presence of money does not make the month look very long. Ask people that are rich, they don't tell you January is very long. They don't have time counting like that.
Well, I think the mystery behind it is, usually most of our people, like I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, during festive period, especially Christmas, we travel home and we do a lot of expenses. And whenever we come back to the city, we find out that the money you're supposed to save for a January spending, you've almost spent it on maybe frivolous things.
People have attributed lack of proper planning and excessive spending during Christmas and New Year celebrations as part of the mystery behind the January phenomenon, the long month that seems to be stretched endlessly. The verdict is simple. People should be prudent in spending during festive periods, and just like any other month, where there is excessive spending, there's bound to be a repercussion. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Public holidays declared during festive period allow people to rejoice, rest and socialize with family and friends. Essential workers, however, do not enjoy public holidays because of the nature of their jobs. In this report, Trust TV's Bello Musa speaks to an essential worker who is supposed to be celebrating New Year with family but remained at his duty post.
Public holidays declared by government covers workers in the employ of public and private institutions. Though workers stay at home with their families to celebrate Christmas and New Year, but essential workers like Emmanuel Ode, a private guard, is exempted as the nature of his work requires him to be at his duty post even during festive season.
On Christmas Day, I'm in the office. On New Year Day, I'm in the office. On essential duty, you have nothing to object it. Since where I was assigned to be in the office that day, I have to be there to do my civic right as a good citizen of the country. That is why I told you earlier, I was there with hunger, not to write anything about. So I was here alone. Make sure I do my work. No water, but I doesn't care about it. Make sure I do what is right at the right time.
Ode said, though he answered leaving, but the economic situation of the country is biting hard on many people like him.
Advice I have to give government, this is the new year. They should try to improve to the life of people, of their people. Because last year is very tough. This year, with the prayer, all things are possible. They will try to listen to the cries of the masses. They are the people who put them for that position. They should not neglect them. Because I expect this year shall be greater than the last year. But last year, nothing we can write about.
While hoping for better days ahead, Ode called on the government to do more in order to alleviate the sufferings of the common man. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
The Debt Management Office on Monday announced at its first bonds issuance for 2023 two Federal Government of Nigeria savings bonds for subscription. According to a statement by the DMO, one is a 2-year FGN savings bond due in January 11, 2025 at the interest rate of 9,600% per annum, and then the other is a 3-year FGN savings bond due in January 11, 2026 at the interest rate of 10,600% per annum. Now, the DMO said that the opening date will be January 3rd, while the closing date will be January 6th, and settlement date January 11, while coupon payment dates will be April 11, July 11, October 11, and January 11. The DMO said that the FGN savings bonds qualified as securities in which trustees could invest under the Trustee Investment Act. It noted that the bonds were backed by the full faith and credit of the FGN and charged upon the general assets of the country. A court in Senegal has sentenced 2 lawmakers to 6 months in jail for assaulting their pregnant colleague during a parliamentary session. During a budget presentation on December 1, Massata Samb, an opposition member of parliament, walked over and slapped Amy Nibi, a member of the ruling Benno Bokk Yakaara coalition. The incident set off a series of altercations. Sam was addressing the assembly about comments Nibi made over the weekend, in which the latter criticized a spiritual leader opposed to a third term for President Macky Sall. Nibi reportedly scoffed at the remarks and declared she did not care, after which Samb walked over and hit her, TV footage showed. Now, Nibi responded by throwing a chair at Samb, and in the brawl that followed, she fell to the ground and was also kicked in the abdomen by Amadou Niang, another member of the opposition. The lawmakers were also ordered to pay a total of 5 million CFA francs, and that's around $8,000 in compensation to Nibi. The death toll in a stampede at a shopping center during New Year celebrations in Uganda's capital has risen to 10, according to the vice president, while police said that they have arrested the organizer of the event. Vice President Jessica Alupo, who on Monday visited the scene in Kampala, told journalists that 1 more person died on Sunday night. She said that the government will pay $1,350 to each victim's family to help with burial costs. The partygoers were killed at Freedom City Mall as revelers thronged a single exit to watch a midnight fireworks show. And that wraps up the news update on Trust Television. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube. I am Ayuba Ile. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.